Hello, everybody. Instead of my normal drive up, I'm going to be giving a hotel room talk about my upcoming tournament. Um, the the sunlight wasn't doing really great, and whenever I did have good sunlight, um, on the drive up, the road was just under construction. There was just so much goddamn uh, road noise. So I figured I'd do this this little pre-tournament talk. So it is 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, Central Daylight Time. I forget. Uh, Central Time before the morning Friday before the morning of Warzone Houston. So I'm going to be going into Warzone Houston tomorrow. Matches start at 10 a.m. It's going to be 5 games, which is going to be a lot of kill team, but luckily I brought the boys here. So I'm playing the intercession squad, which should help, should alleviate the mental fatigue. I'm going with the standard chapter tactics. I'm going with durable and rapid, and so that's going to be a pretty solid kill team. Not a lot to remember. +1 movement, -1 crit damage. They're going to be real easy for me to pilot. 6 models, right? I know pretty much what I'm bringing every match, and so it's going to be a good time. So it looks like we've got about 15 to 16 people coming up. So it's actually a pretty decent tournament for the States, especially for Texas. So I'm in Houston right now. It was a 5.5-hour drive. I met up with Matt from the Discord here for he's actually not going to be there, so I'm kind of hopeful for my chances here. Matt and Samjer are both going to be out of town, so the perpetually online folks, we're down to just me and one other person, which is going to be Nathan from San Antonio. He does a lot of stuff with the Dragon's Lair that's out there. So, Nathan is a really good player. He's playing Hunter Clade, though. I'm not as scared about Hunter Clade, especially if I go tilting shields. And if I keep spamming and they shall know no fear. So I'll get into that in a second. But I'm kind of excited about my chances. This is probably one of the first ones where I think I've got a good chance of placing, and there's enough people to where placing top 3 is, going to be pretty big. This is not my local FLGS meta where if you're not last, you place top 3, right? So we'll see what happens there, right? Here in Texas, we love our freedoms, and so we love our player place terrain. So we're gonna be doing some player place terrain, which I know a lot of people have problems with, but we have a rule set up that no terrain can be placed within. Now, I was talking to the TO, Cesar Alzaga, trying to get him to get it to be within 2 inches or a white circle. But he at least said you have to have a base size between the maximum base size between the 2 players. So for me, that's probably going to be 32 inches, although if I'm playing against Hunter Clade, it'll be 40 inches. I think there's one Tyranids player, so there's another 40-inch base, or 40 millimeter base. Um, so there's at least one other player or one other team that I could go into where it'll be a 40 mil. But outside of that, it's going to be 32 mils apart. Each terrain piece is going to be 32 mils apart. And honestly, that stops all the shenanigans, most of the shenanigans, I should say. You know, players can place Vantage in their deployment zone. That's fine. That's good. My guys, we've got security, right? So I am perfectly fine with castling up on my side, right? I am a normally reactive and defensive player, and so that's why I love my intercessors, right? Because we are going to have a chance to, because we're so tanky and we're so durable, especially with durable and they shall know no fear, we're at our full capacity. I can play reactive, which is really great. You know, I forget the fighting game archetypes. There's a button mashing and there's something else, but the one I'm a big fan of is turtling, right? And so you turtle, you counter, you do those kind of things, and that describes my war game playing style. That describes a lot of my playing style in general. And so these guys have what it takes to do the thing, right? They're gonna be they've got the durability. The 14-15 wounds is enough to force your opponent to take multiple activations to chew through them, right? And the way I play, which is very cagey, I play security, so I'm going to be doing, and I believe we're doing free choice secondaries. So I'm doing hold the line, I'm doing central control. One of the things I'm going to plan to do is keep kill counts the entire game. I'm going to try for hold the line. I'm sorry, for Champion of Mankind, but depending on the matchup, I might switch it up for Plant Banner. But I'm gonna have all my guys, I'm gonna keep them set with on my roster. I'm gonna do that and keep a kill count for everybody, and then hopefully I'll be able to do the fake out and be like, oh yeah, by the way, all those kill counts I was doing, that was nothing. It's actually he's the banner bearer, and he drops it here at the end of Turning Point 3. And he's on conceal, so and it's right, and he drops it right under him. So you got one turn to try to kill him, and then get somebody onto there with the action points to actually do what you need to do, right? So maybe I'll do that. I'm not sure. We'll see how and it's going to depend on the terrain placement too. So player place terrain. I'm looking forward to this. We're doing a full Octarius set, so that'll be good. That provides me with a lot of opportunities for the move, shoot, dash back into obscurity, especially with the doorway. So move out, shoot, dash back in. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of other perpetually online people, not a lot of the TTS crowd. I do know that there's a few people who are pretty good players, but for the most part, there's not a lot of big people who are going to be who've gone up against the Spaniards and the Ukrainians and the Russians and the Polish guys and everything like that. So, they haven't seen all the tricks that I've seen. There is going to be one Vetguard player. I'm a little concerned. Vetguard is probably the only matchup I'm a little worried about, because they do have the demo. If I can take out their demo, that's going to be the demo is the one that really throws a wrench in my plan, because you can take out multiples. And as an elite team, I don't want to lose multiples, right? Um, with everything else, if I lose one, I can normally trade one on death, and so that's actually a pretty good. It's a pretty good outcome for me, right? There's 2 Legionnaires. They're going to be rough. I think they're both running Nurgle, so that's going to be a little rough. But I'm going to bring the. Sorry, guys, I drove 5.5 hours, so I'm a little tired. I'm bringing the plasma pistol sergeant, probably into them. I don't like plasma. I don't know. Maybe I'll do something crazy. Swap them out for like a something a little fun, like a bolt pistol and a power sword, maybe something a little fun. I do like my hand flamer. I'll do a little something like that. All my guys are magnetized, so I'll just swap them out when the time comes. But the so I'll probably bring the plasma. Bring the plasma and a bunch of intercessors, and then just bring the grenade launcher and the super bolter, and just have some fun with that. We'll see how it goes. I got 2 of those matchups. We'll see what we do, and like I said, it's player place terrain, so I should expect to have 3 or I'm sorry, not 3, but half of the Octarius pieces to place where I want, and we'll go with that. And so try to set up the boards. I know a lot of people don't like player placed, but like I said, the 1, spacing it out between the bases, and 2, we don't have a lot of the competitive folks here. Like I said, we don't have a lot of the people who've been online and who've done that. We don't have a lot of the Bearnids. Bearnid is a shark, man. I mean, he's just he smells blood in the water, and his eyes roll back and they're all black, and he just goes into kill mode, right? But we don't have a lot of folks like that who are gonna roll the odds and be like, okay, I'm gonna do, if I'm placing terrain, I'm gonna place for optimal placement, and if I get it, I get it. If I don't, it's no big deal to me, right? Or I'm gonna write that one off as a loss, kind of thing. We don't have a lot of those players. We are here to have fun, and I know a lot of people don't like player place terrain, because we have these hyper optimal people. We're like, oh man, if I had player place terrain, I'd do this and this and this and this, and I'd totally screw up everything, right? But and then people are like, I don't like that because it throws off the metrics, right? Like, but guys, I mean, there's too many variables. There's so many variables when it comes to tournament play, that we have to throw those numbers in there for the for this, and we just have to let people play the way they want to play. That's basically what it comes down to. We got to get these extra all these numbers in here and create the full bell curve, right? I know folks like Shane and Byrnid, they don't like that, and they don't like how it skews the data. They wish it was just kind of like in that middle peak, but that's going to be the we're too small right now, that we are going to have a lot of outliers in these ones, and that's just the way it is. We are going to go for that, and my win, if I win here, it'll be a unique data point, but it'll be no more unique than 100 other events, right? And so we need to capture all the weirdness that we're doing, right? And then from there, you know, distill it out, give that to GW to be like, write better rules, right? Like, because that's basically what it comes down to, is that the GW has not constrained us enough, has not given us enough tools to do this truly competitive format. And so until we get there, I love this whole Wild West kind of idea of saying this is all everything. So I want them, I want to show them that you need to do more to constrain the game, or maybe not. I mean, this whole player placed, it's fun, and people have, and so on this one, Caesar has given us the matchups ahead of time, the missions rather, not the matchups, but the missions ahead of time. And so, it's like standardized testing. So in my day job, I teach for a standardized test, and there's two schools of thought when it comes to standardized testing. You can either some standardized tests have like 3 or 4 tests in circulation, and those are the only tests. So they lock down all their information to make sure that it's fair, that it's equitable, and that it's metered, that it's measured, right? That there's nothing that escapes their parameters. And I understand, right? If you want these numbers to be valid, that's fair, that's good, right? I don't necessarily agree with that because of what educational research has shown, that when you constrain it so much that people don't have a chance to really learn, right? When we put them into these kind of blank boxes, we don't have enough time to learn. We don't have enough time to get better easily. My preferred method, my preferred standardized test is where they have so many of these of the examples that the test bank is 1,000 questions, right? And so there's no way for any one person to memorize those 1,000 questions. Or rather, if they do memorize those 1,000 questions, then they deserve to pass that exam, right? So that they have that skill to memorize that much, then they should pass that test, right? And so when it comes to player place terrain, when you know what the mission is, you've got to keep that in your head, right? So you say, okay, I'm going up against Pathfinders. That's going to be a different match than if I'm going up against Vedguard. That's going to be a different match if I'm going up against Void Dancer. It's going to be a different match if I do this, this, and this. So that you memorize that, if you have that ability to memorize and be like, okay, I'm going to have half the terrain, right? I legitimately am not going to have the full Octaria set because somebody else is going to be placing, right? And so this is going to be my layout for Vedguard. This is going to be my layout for Wormblade. This is going to be my layout. And you do that. And, that's, for some people, that's fun. For me, that's fun, right? Being there at work, and then you're on a Zoom call that should have been an email. And so you're there, and you look like you're trying to take notes. And so you're there sketching, and you'll be like, you're just trying to look like you're taking notes, when what you're really doing is you're sketching out the deployment zones and how you're gonna deploy. And that's fun, right? That's fun for some people. And some people are just gonna show up tomorrow and they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm here, look at this guy, this is my first painted Marine, right? Isn't he so cool? I painted him Nurgle because, I really like Nurgle. Oh, that's good? Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, cool. He's gonna be my Nurgle Marine. Yeah. I gave him the missile launcher because I thought the missile launcher was cool because it's got blast, Oh, I should have taken a heavy bolter. That's better. He's got a missile launcher, right? And honestly, that's a community that we have, right? We've got this mix of people. We are not big enough to really have a cream of a crop, right? I know, the Bearded and Shane and, the Ace and those kind of people, they really like, or they're, I'm not sure about Ace, but like Bearded and Shane, I know, are big into, um, this whole, they want to control the variables. They want to keep these things so that we can get, we can actually get good data. But we are not at that point yet. We cannot, we need to grow the community, and player place terrain is fun. Like I said, with that one exception, right? But, the community is not sweaty enough yet to where most people playing player place terrain is going to be ungodly, with the like one or two exceptions. But like I said, the base requirement is going to be enough, I think, to really keep a lot of the worst offenders from having their day, right? So I think we're going to be okay, and so that's going to be fun. So yeah, tomorrow we got a couple of matchups. We got Nathan from Dragon's Lair San Antonio coming in. He's definitely a good player. I met him at the Bastrop event. He's definitely one of the good players. He's online. Samjer and Matt, Flying Midget, both of them are going to be on vacation this week, so they're actually out of Houston, coincidentally, and so I'm not going to be playing against them. So we really only have one person who's really active on the Kill Team Discords, as far all the Discords that I'm aware of, rather. So he's the only one who's going to be, who's been, filtering this global network that we have. So he's the one who's going to be my matchup, but he's running Hunter Clade. I think I like that matchup against my team. I'm gonna have, like I said, I'm gonna be running And They Shall Know No Fear, so I'm gonna shut off the injury aura. I've got Rapid, so I can outcharge him. He's doing the same damage back to me because of durable, right, with the power swords. So he's doing 4-5. I'm doing 4-5. He's got 10 wounds. I got 14 wounds. I'm winning this matchup, right? And so there's a lot to that. I might bring the intercessors, the assault intercessors, and run the shield, the tilting shield equipment on them. So, that's going to really help out against those models. And I like to hide a lot in melee. That's my big goal. Is I'm going to play very reactionary, which I think is something that a lot of intercessor players don't do. But, that's why these guys, I think, are kind of my faction, is that they do have a lot of reactionary tricks, and on top of their durability. So I can afford to let them move first, and I can weather their storm a lot of the first few rounds, and then with the fight on death, with the shoot on death, and the fight at the end of the turn, I can do a lot of things to even the scales. And I played a lot of intercessors even from Compendium, right? And so I beat my head against the wall with not even assault intercessors, but with rifle intercessors. I beat my head against the wall, and I learned that ceaseless was good, right? Like having to choose between P1 and ceaseless. I learned that, oh yeah, in the vet guard, you want that stasis. The number of times that I rerolled a 1 into a crit was, about 1 in 6. But, still, that is amazing when it comes to that damage output, right? So you learn, and this is when they were 13 wounds, not 14 wounds, right? And when they didn't have the free bolter discipline and everything like that. So I trained on them, with the weights on my feet, right? Like I was, so I've learned how to work them into into the horde teams. I learned how to hide. I learned how to, be a very sticky team is the way I describe it. I stay on the board, right? I know a lot of people on the Discord say that you want to go, that full engage is a lot of fun. I know what I want, at least 1 or 2 models on engage, and with player place terrain, I'm gonna get at least one of the Octarius. It's not an L piece, and it's not a tower, but the one with the hatch, the door, right? I'm gonna get at least one of those pieces, no matter what. And those pieces are amazing for my team, right? Because if I need vantage, I can get vantage. If I need to hide, but I should be able to hide my guys behind it, right? Full obscurity. And so that's gonna be really good for me. And I normally always pick infiltrate as my scouting option, so I can place one person, completely behind completely out of visibility, but ready to, move through the door, take a shot, and then dash back, right? And then place somebody else to where they might be able to climb, do a move, climb onto a vantage, flip from concealed to engage, get onto that vantage, get some shots, right? That's going to be, so that's at least 2 shots I'm going to do, which is going to be normally going to be enough to deny them whatever that contested objective is. And that's the other thing about these guys, is that with the equipment that they have, with the shoot twice, fight twice, the specialist options that they have, they really feel like the elites of last edition, of the 2018 edition, right? And this is where, the coaching I took with Baronid, really comes into play. Because in the old edition, in 2018, the primary mission was normally hold 1, hold more, kill 1, kill more, right? Or hold 1, hold 2, hold more. One of those things. And the way that elite teams won was not by holding more, because they couldn't, but was by denying your opponent that hold more, right? And so, against Vetguard, 6 versus 14, I can only activate so many times, right? But I can hold my Overwatch long enough to try to take out the ones that get onto that point, or, save it for the shoot on death to take out their plasma, right? Because there's only so many models they have that can actually do damage to my guys, right? Like I said, the demo is the only big one on Pathfinders. Pathfinders are going to be an interesting one because they can shoot in melee, and my big plan is to hide in melee. So that's my big plan. There's going to be a Wormblade player there who's supposed to be really good. The Kellermorph is about the only one I'm really afraid of. We got a Novitiates player. Novitiates, the only one I'm really afraid of is the Sister Superior with the plasma pistol, because she's just gonna delete, and then she's gonna blinding aura and negate my shooting. But as soon as I can take her out, things are gonna be in a decent spot. That she's the only one who can one shot my guys. After that, things are gonna be better. But yeah, that's what we, Wormblade, Pathfinders are gonna be interesting. Nurgle, Legionnaires, Nurgle. It's gonna be a dice game. It'll depend on who is on which side of the bell curve. You know, you can only do what you can do. But the dice on average favors me. But when you're so closely matched like that, it's going to depend on who wins initiative, basically. And that's probably going to, it's going to come down to the initiative roll 9 times out of 10. But I'll take it, right? So there's 2 Legionary, 1 Pathy, 1 Vet Guard. So I've got a 4 big matchups that I think are going to be a little rough, but I think I got it. So, anyways, that's my pre-tournament thing. I'll probably record another one from the road, and we can see what happened.